Studio A at MPTV in Milwaukee, MATC presents Stormwatch, a weekly video magazine documenting the activities at Milwaukee Area Technical College. On today's show, we will take you on a history ride about MATC as well as its progression in technical education. Then check out the Dennis Sullivan, a recreation of a cargo-carrying vessel that would have been typically used in the 1800s. And stick around for the end as Autumn Renee shares with us her talent and goals for music. All this right now on Stormwatch.
Hi, my name is L.C. Satterfield, and welcome to Stormwatch. Joining me today is Gavin Weitzer, who is a student in the MATC TV and Video Production Program. Hi, Gavin.
Hi, L.C.
So, Gavin, you have been in the TV program for about a year now, so tell me, what do you think so far?
Well, I love it. I wish this was a year-round program. Each day I'm constantly learning more knowledge and gaining more experience.
And so what classes did you have to take in order to prepare?
Well, I've taken TV 105, TV 101, Workshop 1, script writing. Still have a lot more classes to go.
Are the classes pretty demanding?
Yes. They told us on the first day that say bye to your personal life, and they were definitely right about that.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, Gavin, well, thanks. Right now we are going to talk to Nick Petrinos, who is the photo editor for the MATC Times. He's going to talk to us about the changes in technology at MATC. After that, we're going to take a journey to Discovery World and check out the Dennis Sullivan.
MATC as a whole has gone through so many changes. It developed out of a need to get kids out of the labor force and back into school. And that changed a lot of things in our society. Of course, we got computerized like everybody else in the world, but the computer technology has changed a great deal. I think we're heading toward a completely wireless system here eventually at the school. One thing in particular is that many programs have been affected by the technology, as it used to be called, now the digital age, has opened up a lot of new avenues for the school. We have a lot of things in the graphics area, especially with animation, that simply just never existed prior to the digital period we're in now. Those have made new programs, have given new opportunities for students. I would probably say we're probably the best in Wisconsin right now in the areas of classes involving green technology, learning efficiencies of going green, wind technology, anything about the automotive area, how to make cars more efficient. There's so many classes that are offered that will help you develop those skills. I think without that digital technology, we really would not be able to go any further. And of course, we have to compete with the rest of the world. And as new as these programs seem, and maybe some of the names sound strange, they're actually going to become commonplace in our society. We're going to hear them on a daily basis. Our history really dictates our future. We as a school have always given people opportunities, and I think MATC grabs onto things like the digital age to make that opportunity greater for children or students as a whole, rather.
Here, the Dennis Sullivan is a recreation of what a typical cargo-carrying vessel of the 1860s to 1880s would have looked like. If we sailed this in 1870 into the port of Milwaukee, nobody would have given us a second look. These were extremely popular back in the 19th century. About 80 to 85% of the sailing vessels, which would number as many as 2,000 at one time, were schooners. These schooners were the bulk cargo carriers. They were the 18-wheelers of the day. They carried lumber, iron ore, coal, so down below it was just an empty shell. Back in the 19th century, they wouldn't have had diesels, but by the 1830s, 1840s, every port along the lakes had at least one steam tug. So the tug would pull you away from the dock, get you out to the lake, and well, then you're at the mercy of the wind. She's 137 feet long, a beam or width of almost 24 feet. She sits almost 9 feet into the water, and that is actually a discrepancy from what the traditional vessel would have been. Back then, it would have been 4.5 to 5 feet into the water with a drop centerboard. If you want to see a drop centerboard, we have the Challenge, an 84% replica of one of the vessels we're actually based on, and it has a drop centerboard, and it's actually dropped down below. So if you go in there, you can actually see it because of Discovery Road. Okay, it's a big block of wood, pivoted forward, and as you get out to the lake where it's deeper, you can just winch it down, let it slide down, so it acts as more stability. A vessel like this back then, it would not be unheard of to have 5 or 6 crew members sailing it. If you had the square sails, the sails that go across the boat, you'd be looking at 3 to 4 times that many. We like to travel with as many as 12. The captain, the cook, and when we have an education program going on, the education officer would not stand the watch. The other 9 would break up into 3-person watches, and we would just sail around the clock until we get where we're going. We have a captain, obviously. I said we had, in fact, 3 fully licensed captains, but 1 person is the captain. And then we have 3 mates, first, second, and third, to each run a watch so that we can run the boat around the clock, 4 to 5 hour watches. We have one of our deckhands who also is a skilled engineer, obviously responsible for the engine room. We have another deckhand who also is enrolled in his job, or encompasses in his job, I should say, is the bosun. He takes care of the rigging. And then we have a dedicated cook, and that's her only responsibility. And it's not always a female. It's probably about 50-50, as in most roles. We've employed approximately 350 crew members over the 10 years, and I'd say about 50% of them have been female. And then we have the rest of them are deckhands. We also have an education officer on board when we have an education program, and that's the role I fill when we're running an education program. And when we don't, I just slip into the role of deckhand and historian on the vessel. Everything is hands-on. I mean, the last thing you want to hear, either in Discovery World, the building over here, or on the boat, is do not touch. Well, I just like to see as people come down here and experience it. You know, if you get on this boat, especially if you come overnight, it gets in your blood. Now, granted, for some people, it's not their cup of tea and they try it once, but so many people, I mean, our biggest problem some days is, especially with volunteer crew that we have come on, is I have more people who want to come on than I have slots available to put them on. So come down, give us a try, especially if you can arrange an overnight trip. We're going someplace, whether it be across the lake or down to Chicago or up to Manitowoc, and see what it's like.
Wow, I wouldn't mind taking a fishing trip on that schooner. How about you, Gavin?
Pretty awesome boat, LC.
Yeah. You know, being in TV and seeing all the changes in technology is fascinating. Technology has really improved itself within the last decade and is continually changing day by day. I went and talked with some of the students in the animation department at MATC. And we will hear what they have to say later. Then, after that, we will see what changes are taking place at MATC to better the resources that we have for students and their financial obligations.
Located conveniently near downtown Milwaukee is a place where many people come to pursue their dreams. MATC's animation department offers promise to those students seeking a career in the field of animation.
The animation program at MATC is a relatively new program to the college, where myself and another instructor, Tim Decker, co-chair the program. Tim is an ex-Disney animator as well as Simpsons animator who teaches most of the 2D animation classes and really gets our students started down the right track toward understanding how animation works with all the fundamentals. Then after that, they go to myself and a couple other instructors for all of the 3D work. We range, again, like I said, from 2D animation through 3D animation, and the 3D side includes things like 3D modeling, rendering, material editing, lighting, camera angles, everything really involved in the world of 3D. Process-wise, we start out with relatively low-res models in 3D Studio Max. Then most of the time we take our models through a program called Mudbox for digital sculpting and material editing. Then from there, the model comes back to 3D Studio Max for rigging, which is applying the bone system into the model, and then we animate after that.
More often than not, this seems to be the type of career choice that many were smitten with from early childhood.
Since a very young age, I've been pretty much involved in film. I love to go to movies, and I've been trying to create movies for a long time. And my dream is to one day work for Pixar Disney. So
I'm here as a first-year student. I currently, of course, in the animation program. I like to play video games and hope to be a video game designer one day.
As far as the process of 3D animation goes, it really helps to be an actor as well as a technical artist using software. So if you can understand body movement, body language, body positioning, you can use all of that to help sell your animation. The process of 2D animation is a little different than 3D animation, where in 2D you have to deal with drawing every frame or every image that you see on screen by hand. So minimum 15 different drawings per second of what you see on television, film, or wherever you're watching it. Where with 3D, we can create what we call keyframes, and then the software creates the in-betweens for us. A lot of times we'll have to go back and tweak the in-betweens. But with hand-drawn animation, you do draw every frame yourself.
I'm animating a character that I created in my character design course, and now I'm animating him going on a fishing trip. He ends up losing his head, and his headless body takes him on a pretty crazy adventure.
A lot of what we do requires a lot of fine-tuning and finesse. So we do what we call a rough pass, where we'll do a basic animation, take a look at it, see what it needs, continue to go back and fine-tune until everything feels right. And a lot of what we do isn't necessarily, is it exactly right, but is it feel right? So like an actor, you've got to really kind of feel your way through a shot, through a scene, in order to figure out exactly what it needs in the long run. But while it can be tedious at times to keep going back and fine-tuning everything we do, in the end, when you have a good, high-quality finished animation, it's all worth the time.
Educational loan program for student loans, but they are in the process of changing to direct lending. Direct lending will start in the fall of 2010. Why the change?
Right now, with the Family Educational Loan Program, students have to pick a lender, and so like a bank, like U.S. Bank, M&I Bank, a bank, and they also have a servicer, which services the loan. So the bank gets a piece of that action, and so does the servicer. So if we go to direct lending, that eliminates the middle person, and the student borrows directly from the U.S. Department of Education. And the main change for students is they have to do a new master promissory note, a note promising to pay the money back. So everyone has to sign a new master promissory note, and they'll need to do that once, and they'll never need to do that again as long as direct lending is at MATC. And direct lending is now law. Schools don't have a choice as to what type of loan program they have. So starting in the fall, all schools will go to direct lending. We're getting the word out I sent out a mass email to all students. Marketing is putting it on the electronic signboards. It's on Facebook, on Twitter. There's going to be an article in the Times, and I'm planning on sending out a postcard to students in the next couple of weeks. And also we'll be having sessions if students want to come in and actually do their master promissory note with an MATC financial aid person.
To stay updated, be sure to check your student email, log on to Facebook, and read your tweets. You can also visit matc.edu for more information.
Well, it's great to see how MATC staff is making improvements to help benefit us as students.
Well said, Gavin. Students need that support so that they can be further encouraged to continue in their education. Let's not forget about those students who have the creative talents such as writing, singing, and cosmetology. Let's talk to Autumn Ray, who is about to begin her career as a future cosmetologist.
My name is Autumn Renee. I started at MATC as a barber cosmetology student. I finished the program, got my license, worked in the salon for a while, and decided to go out on my own. My best friend and I now rent a studio, and we have our own business called Aura Hair Salon. And after working in salons and going through different things, I tried to find a major that suited me besides hair, because I didn't want to do hair forever. And I went through business and liberal arts and ended up going back to my passion, which was music. What inspired me to get into music was I started doing open mics, and it was just for fun, and I had stopped singing for a little bit and decided, I'm gonna take a break from music. And when I started performing again, I realized how much I really, really loved it, and how much I loved writing and singing and just performing for people. And that's when I decided to take piano so that I could play and sing, and then go out into the guitar so that I could just be able to support myself while I'm singing, you know, if I don't have a band or if I don't have a track, and get that live feel.
Lately I've been thinking maybe you're not ready for me. Maybe you think I need to learn maturity. Say watch what you ask for, mercy. If you ask me tomorrow.
I make music a part of my day any way possible. As an artist, I juggle a lot between practicing, between rehearsals, between getting everybody together for the rehearsals, between going to a gig after rehearsal, staying up in the studio. I've been in the studio at 4 o'clock in the morning trying to just finish a song, to cutting songs out just because I don't like the way they sound, cutting out a hook and redoing it 50 times. Just a lot of repetition and a lot of patience. As an artist, I've really got accustomed to being patient and just never giving up, even if it takes forever. It takes self-discipline to be an artist and a lot of strength. Music to me is a powerful unity. It has the power to bring people together and forget whatever's going on, or evoke an emotion, whether it be happy or sad or angry. It's this like spirit, and I can't really put words on it. To me, music ultimately is a feeling that reminds us that there is something there, there is a connection, and it's a mystery. Music is really a mystery to me. One of the greatest lessons I've learned from music is something that I can apply to life, and that no matter what you're passionate about, never give up on it. No matter who tells you you can't, no matter what obstacle comes in the way, if you are patient and you have discipline and you keep working on it, no one can stop you.
Behind him his mind state is finally free. He is the definition of a passionate man.
Well, thanks for joining us on Stormwatch. We'll be back next week, so stay tuned.